guys, so we're gonna talk about the process that I go through of making my costumes and how I do all that and such. So first off, you actually have to pick one. Whether it be your favorite character or just something really random or just an original character, which is what I'm going to be doing here pretty soon. A lot of my upcoming videos are going to be of a Jedi costume I'm making, and it's just a complete original character. It's kind of like I'm winging it, and whatever happens is whatever happens. So, first off, you're going to want to plan, which means picking your costume and figuring out what you want to do exactly. Like, if you pick the Tooth Fairy from Rise of the Guardians, do you really want to do with all those feathers? Or do you want to do a simplified version? Do you want to do some costume that a fan artist has done online? If you're doing a Jedi, do you want to do original character or what? And then, like, if you're doing an Avengers character, everyone has several outfits. Tony Stark has his armor, he's got the outfits he's worn just in the movies, and then like Loki and Thor each have their own versions of armors, and I think each Loki and Thor have at least 2 versions of their armor. Anyways, so you have to decide exactly what you want to do. Then you have to go and get everything. So gathering your materials. I think the first, okay, hold on, back up. After you figure out what you want to do, you need to go research. Do tons and tons of research. Like, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I know what Jedis look like. I know all that other stuff. I still did 3 hours worth of research trying to figure out what would be an acceptable Jedi costume that I would still kind of get recognized, but it's not like something totally completely random. I looked at all of the movies, the Clone Wars series on Cartoon Network, even some of the game. Knights of the Old Republic was one I really looked into, and I did ultimately settle on something. I'm kind of going off of what Obi-Wan wears in the movies, but a bit different. So, yes, do lots of research, get as many pictures as you possibly can. I have a whole folder on my Booksmarks. It's called Cosplay, and then underneath that is all of the characters I have ever done, and it's like you get front views, you get back views, side views, and then you get concept arts, and I go and I look and see what other people have done for cosplay, just to kind of see what's acceptable. And a lot of times there are people who will break things down, which is a huge help. They'll take and make it piece by piece by piece so that you can see, oh, this is what the undergarment looks like, this is what the top looks like, here's their cape. Looking to do Loki, I found one like that, and they had taken his armor apart, and it was like, here's each individual piece. So that's a huge help. That also helps in finding the smaller details you'll end up having to do. So yeah, and then when you're going searching for materials, think of it in parts, not just as a whole. Think of it in parts. Usually if it's, okay, every character has pants. Most every character has pants. You can go to the thrift store and buy a pair of pants for like $1. For my Jedi costume, I went to the thrift store and I found 2 different pairs of leggings. They're 2 different color browns. I'm not sure which one I'll use, but each was $1.99. And then one ended up being on sale, so it was even cheaper. They're not going to be the most beautiful things, but you know what? Whatever. So that's the first place I would go, is thrift stores. Find something that is already constructed that you can use for your cosplay. If you're going to be anal about details and things like that, you deserve to waste all of your money on fabric and all of your time trying to make things like that, because it shouldn't matter. Like, it shouldn't. Having a pair of having a pair of black pants that you bought at the thrift store should be fine for a bazillion cosplays. And you shouldn't have to make pants for every single cosplay that you have to do. Let's see, okay, and then find other things that will work. Like, for a Jedi's tunic, it's very hard to find something like that, especially since I'm not doing it exactly like how Obi-Wan has it with the really long open sleeves. I have an undershirt that I'm going to wear, so I'm just making the top part of the tunic. So instead of going and buying fabric, go to a thrift store and look at and see their sheets and their tablecloths. That's a good 2 or 3 yards that you can get for like $2. There's no way you can get, let's see, we went to Joann's, and I think the cheapest we found was $3.99, and that wasn't even on sale. So yeah, $3.99 for 1 yard of fabric, and you can get a tablecloth or a bed sheet, and that'll be 2, maybe 3 yards for maybe $2.99. I got a tablecloth in the exact color that I needed for my Jedi tunic for $1.99, and I will have plenty of leftover fabric to make a belt or make wraps or whatever I want. So yeah, look and see what is already there. Towels I wouldn't really go for, but like sheets and tablecloths, usually those are made out of the same materials that your clothes are. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, go look, see what you can find. So find things that's already for gathering materials, find things that are already constructed, and then look for other things that will work for fabric. And then, oh yeah, thrift stores are really good for shoes. They're very cheap, but you're taking the chance of whether you actually find what you want or not. So that's the thing with thrift stores, is you might not always find exactly what you want. But sometimes you do, and it's awesome, and you save yourself like $30, and you feel fantastic because now you have $30 to either go towards something else or go towards buying stuff in the dealer's room. So after you've gone to a bazillion thrift stores and have spent hours searching through racks, you're just like, now what? Now you need to figure out what fabric you need. And then you need to figure out how much you need. They always say that having some leftovers is great, but you don't want to go buy 8 yards for something and you only end up using 2. That's way too much. So, if you're not good at guessing, take someone else with you. Or look up online and put in how to make whatever it is you're making. I'm making a Jedi robe, so I put in how to make a Jedi robe. There was one that's out there, and it said buy a whole bolt of fabric. That can be really expensive. So I was like, let's look someplace else. We looked someplace else, and another site said about 4 yards. I'm about 5'3", and that's how tall the author was, and they're like, 4 yards is what I needed. I was like, cool. And then to make boot covers, I got 2 extra yards. So I got 6 yards of fabric. Also, look for sales. Joann's usually has coupons in the paper, or they have a sale of some sort. Don't just go and find what you need and go buy it. Look around the rest of the store. There might be something else that's on like super sale, and you might be able to get a really good deal. And then compare prices. Not like different brands sell for different prices and such, and find the cheapest you can. Sometimes you won't always get the color you want, but it might be close enough. Brown is brown. It doesn't have to be exact. Unless, of course, you're anal, then go ahead and spend the extra money. So yeah, and then coupons. Always look for coupons in the paper, online, whatever. I didn't have coupons when I went to Joann's this last time, but luckily the cashier was super nice and had a 50% off coupon for me. So I got all of the supplies I needed for my Jedi costume for under $20, which is kind of a miracle, because $20 you could use on just fabric. So you have your fabric, you have your tablecloth, you have your jeans, whatever, you have all of your stuff. Fantastic. Now take and get your reference pictures that you looked up earlier before, and make sure you're not forgetting anything. Belts, random like wrist guards, headpieces, necklaces, anything like that. And then start looking into smaller details. Makeup, jewelry, eye color, hair color, whatever. If you need a wig, obviously you'll have to go buy a wig, probably online. I usually get mine online. Then you'll have to start thinking about makeup. You always want to do just your basic foundations and stuff, because the cameras make everything worse. So I would recommend just a basic foundation for everyone, guys included. And there's other cosplay people out there that have said that before. So, but if your character does wear makeup, make sure you have the makeup that you need. And I would go buy it early. And then what I would do, sorry, there's crazy things happening in my house. And then what I would do is take and do a test run, and then put it all on. I would just do headshots. You can do clothes if you haven't done. Put your wig on, do your makeup and everything, and then take pictures. Just so you know how it's gonna look on camera. If you don't like how it looks on camera, you might need new makeup or something. So make sure you do that a few weeks ahead of time so that you have time to go buy makeup and things like that. So moving on to jewelry, wrist guards, belts, the accessories, the little things. Do extensive research to find those, and then find ways to make those. Use old belts you have. Use old random little things you have laying around the house. Go through all your mom's old stuff and ask her, are you using this? Or are you using this? If she says no, and she's not ever going to use it again, then take it and use it. There's no reason for it to sit in the closet when you can use it. Yes, you can take it to Goodwill and stuff, but then you have to go buy something. So try and find stuff around the house. Okay. Belts and things. Yes. So find all your little accessories and make them. Sometimes you might have to make them. I've made accessories out of clay and such. There is resin, but that requires a mold. I do recommend clay, like the stuff that air dries or bake dries, or stuff you have to bake. Whatever, I hope you know what I mean. That's cheap, that's easy. It doesn't take very long. Again, give yourself time to do that, because you'll probably have to paint it. And then if you mess up, you don't want to be 2 nights before the con trying to redo stuff. So, if you haven't gotten that yet, give yourself plenty of time. Do not start doing this the week before a con. If it is Monday before the con, and you don't have any of your stuff, you might want to rethink what you're doing in your life. So, at this point, you've planned, you've done research, you've gone out, you've gotten your materials, you've done more research, you have all of your little things, you have all the makeup you need. I really do recommend doing a test run of your makeup and your wig, and doing some headshots so that you know what it'll look like. And then it's also cool to put it online and get opinions from people online. I can't focus today. I'm really sorry. This video is going to be everywhere. So, building wise, knowing how to sew is not something everybody knows. I have a friend who doesn't know, and she's just like, here, do this for me. And it's like, okay. I have other friends that are afraid of sewing machines, and it's like, I don't understand that, but I have friends who are afraid of computers. So, everybody's got their own thing. I personally have been sewing from a very young age. My mom sews, my grandma sews. And obviously in my other video, I think I mentioned Odyssey of the Mind. I've been sewing for years. So I know how to use a sewing machine. I know how to do all that stuff. And if I don't know how to do something, I ask my grandma or my mom. If you don't know how to sew and you don't have someone who knows how to sew, look for a class. If you're in high school, hold on. If you're in high school, you're really lucky because my internet's going crazy. because your school probably offers something called clothing construction. That's what it was called in my high school. In my middle school, it was called FACS, FACS. And that when you did sewing and cooking. So I would talk, if you're still in high school, talk to your counselor and be like, do we have a sewing class? I know for sure that first year they'll teach you how to use a sewing machine, how to hand sew, how to use a pattern, how to make something out of a pattern. Those are for sure what you will learn in that first class. And then if you want to know more and like how to make your own pattern and things like that, take more classes. If you're not in high school, I would look around your community and see if there are community classes, whether offered by a local college or just a local group, and see if there's somebody out there who can teach you how to sew. If not, there is always the internet. Or if you want, I can do a sewing tutorial. I'm not quite sure how good I would be at teaching it, but I can give it a shot. So if you guys want that, let me know. So yeah, so if you have like pants and shirts and things like that, you don't have to sew those. But if you have to add things onto them, sew them on there. If you have to make a cloak or something, make that. It's basically build everything. Start a few weeks ahead of time in case you mess up. And then if you have leftover fabric and stuff, save it. That you never know, you might need like crazy neon green for some other cosplay down the road. That's my thinking. I might need it for something down the road because I don't know what I'm going to do in a year or so right now. So, you have all of your stuff built, it's completely constructed, great. When you are finished with everything, or as you finish things, hold on. As you are making your costume, get a box, write on it whatever, say, let's say I'm going to Planet Comic Con, so I'd write Planet Comic Con, and then I would put my name, costume. My computer's doing weird things. So put the name of the con, put your name, or you can put the costume's name or whatever, and then anytime that you are finished with something, put it in the box. Don't take it out of the box unless you have to fix it. Just put it all in the box. And then when it's time for the con, like a few days before the con, make sure you have everything in that box and take the box to the con with you. I also recommend taking what I call the emergency bag. Last year for NakaCon, my emergency bag, I was taking stuff for my costume and my friend's costume. I had made little belt pouches. They were just for show, out of craft foam, and her weapons were out of craft foam. So I took craft foam sheets, I took a hot glue gun, super glue, Elmer's glue. I would take those 3 types of glue. If you're taking a hot glue, make sure you remember the glue gun and the glue sticks. Last year I got to the con and only had the glue sticks, and I was like, ah, crap. Luckily, I took Elmer's glue and super glue. Yeah. So I would take all 3 of those. Super glue, just in case something falls off and like you're rushing out, like it's the morning of the second day and suddenly something pops off and you're like, oh crap. Just use super glue real quick. Just pop it on there, it'll be good. Just don't get your fingers stuck to it or anything like that. So I would take extra fabric, sewing needles. I wouldn't take a sewing machine, just take needles to hand sew. So that means you also need thread, take glue, anything else you need to fix your costume. If you have extras of something, like if you have extra shoes, like if you're wearing heels to the con, I'd take extra shoes. So make sure you have all of that, put it in a bag, put it in a box, put it in a spot you know, put everything that's going to the con in the same spot, okay? And then that way you know you have everything. And then the night before the con, go through, make sure you have it all and all that other stuff, and then go and have fun. That's all there is to it. So this is really going to be a scattered video, but whatever. That's the process that I usually go through in making this. You'll kind of see more of it as I go through. I am going to Planet Comic Con, which is April 6th and 7th. So that's the reason for all of these videos this week, is because I'm making a mad dash to make it. The next video I have will be the introduction to the Jedi costume I'm going to do. And then I think after that we'll do makeup. And then I'm going to start cutting out everything. And then I think I do have that other wig video that I'm going to do. I think that'll happen after Planet Comic Con, because I think I need a stand for my styrofoam head. Alright. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry for being so scatterbrained. I'm a dork. Anyways, alright, bye!